Hey, what is up, people? This is Sarang, and in this video I'm going to tell you why our nation is getting fatter and fatter, why like 1 in 3 people out there are obese right now, why most of us are suffering from chronic diseases, and exactly what is causing all that. What are the dietary and lifestyle habits that we need to focus on in order to get things moving, fix all of these problems. So in this video I'm going to try to explain you all of that. Particularly, I'm just going to explain you one single thing that I think is like the majority of the cause of the whole problem that we're dealing with here. And in doing so and explaining so, it might look like I'm trying to offend our culture or tradition, but I have no intention of doing so. So just have an objective mind and an open mind while watching this video, because we cannot be biased, and we cannot let our emotions get caught up when we are solving such a serious issue of chronic diseases and people suffering from all these horrific conditions. So just be open-minded while watching this video, and you will have a much better understanding of how to do things, what dietary and lifestyle habits you should have in order to lose weight if you are someone who is living in India, and especially if you are someone who is obese, overweight, you have lost weight and you need to maintain it now. So that all out of the way, let's just jump into the video. I'm going to try to tell you the major reason which I personally think because of which most of the people get fat, and how to really fix that in order to get some results, or if you're already, if you're trying to maintain it, how you can do it more efficiently. So we know one thing for sure, that people get fat because they overeat. Now all we need to do is just figure out why people overeat. While there are many number of reasons why people overeat, the major ones are overabundance of food, lack of physical activity, and just food that is very, very tasty, hyper palatable in nature. If we just keep all that aside, considering that that is the basics, and you understand that this is a next level of reasoning. So we need to figure out why people overeat, and to understand why people overeat, we need to first understand how your body is exactly regulating food intake. Because unless we really don't know that when is the point that you should stop eating, and when is the what is the reason and motivation because of which you start eating, or you get hungry, or you have a very, very high appetite and all that kind of stuff, we won't really nail down the solution of this whole problem. So in this video I'm going to try to explain to you this basic stuff first, the basic mechanism of how your body regulates your food intake. Once you understand this, once you understand how exactly why some of you overeat, why some of you don't overeat, and why there are a lot of factors to it, but how exactly your body regulates food intake and how it makes you fat, then you will understand what exactly is wrong with the picture and how you can fix that. So to start out with very basics, just stay with me. This might get a little complicated. Just stay with me for a couple of minutes. When you eat something, say you got hungry, you started eating. When you eat something, the food goes into your stomach, then goes into your intestine, and into your intestine has a detection mechanism of how many calories you eat. So you know how we really like weigh and measure things when we are trying to lose weight? No need of doing that. Your intestinal gut already has a detection mechanism of how many calories, protein, carbs, fat you're eating, and all that kind of stuff. When your gut and intestine detects this, it sends that information to your brain that we have like gotten 500 calories in us now, and it is time to stop eating, because that is all the calories we need for now. At that point, your brain tells you to stop eating. This is one simple cycle, so one simple feedback loop, because of which you regulate your food intake. And if you strengthen this thing, then you won't ever get fat. But here is where things go wrong. In the environment we are living in, there is another pathway by which we can regulate food intake, and that is governed by your taste buds. Now this is where all the things go wrong, because this pathway is, say that this pathway is basically, if you're eating someone and you get bored of that food, your brain will tell you to stop eating. Or if you're eating something and you're full, and you just like that food too much, you're craving that food too much, and your taste buds haven't gotten bored yet, even though you have gotten all your calories, and even though your gut is telling your brain that we have gotten all the calories that we need for now, stop eating, your brain won't send you the satiety signal to stop eating, and thus you will overeat. Now the thing is, Your brain always picks up one of these two pathways, whichever is the strongest. So this pathway is always strongest if your food is too damn tasty, your food is bland. That means if your food is tasting like cardboard, then also this pathway is going to get activated, because the sensation is not so good. The sensory specific satiety is very big, is getting activated. Or what we need to focus on is too much variety in your food per meal. I'm talking about. So if you have too much variety in your food, that is a typical 7-course Indian meal. I know that we don't eat 7 items per meal on regular basis, but nonetheless we have a lot of variety in our typical Indian meal. We have roti, we have dal, we have rice, we have like 2 different kinds of veggies, some yogurts, occasional sweet, and all that kind of stuff. So we have we have a lot of variety. We even use like pickles and chutney and all that kind of stuff to make it too tasty, to make it more tasty. So when we have wide variety of stimulations, like veggies, if you're eating some kind of veggies that has one taste, the dal has another taste, rice has another taste, pickle has another taste, roti has another taste. If you have wide variety of taste, texture, and flavor, then it's going to activate this pathway. But activating this pathway is regulating your food intake by this pathway in on itself is not a bad thing. The bad thing is when you are having so much variety, then your brain is getting constant stimulation. For example, you're eating roti and dal first, then your brain is getting one stimulation. It is like eating, and then you interrupt with another combination of food. When you constantly is giving it another combination of food, another kind of stimulation, your brain is just not, because of the wide variety of constant stimulation in your mouth, it is just not going to send you the signal even when you're full, even when you have gotten all the calories that you want, just because your taste buds haven't gotten bored yet. Because how are they going to get bored? You're just giving it constant different stimulations all the time. Every bite of food you're eating is of different kind, of different combination, and of different taste, texture, and flavor. In that case, your taste buds are just not going to get bored, and even when you have gotten all the calories that you want, your brain won't send you the signal to stop eating. And if you keep doing this every single meal, if you're having so much variety per food per meal, in every single meal, and every single time you eat, over the time, obviously all that is going to add up, and it is going to make you overweight. So how you can fix that? If you're someone who is overweight, obese, you have lost weight and you want to maintain it, the number one thing you need to do is you can include traditional foods. All of them are not bad. I would not say that they are the most healthiest, but you can include that if you want a quote unquote sustainable diet. But you can include all of them. All you need to do is decrease the number of food items to 3, maximum of 3 per meal, and have it like, just don't make it too damn tasty. You know what activates this pathway. Don't make it too tasty, and don't have too much variety. If you don't make it too tasty, too stimulating to your tongue, that means you don't use pickle, or you don't use chutney, or you don't use a wide variety of texture, taste, and flavor on your plate per meal, then you won't really have this problem. And I really think that this is one of the major reasons that our nation got fat, because it doesn't tell you to stop eating. And every time you're eating and having a big meal, that is almost like we have a typical average Indian has like 3 big meals per day, or at least 2 big meals per day. We overeat in all the meals almost. We overeat on both of the meals, both 2 or 3 meals, whatever you're doing, and it is just going to make you overeat and overweight over the time. So decrease the variety in your food, decrease the variety of texture, taste, and flavor in your food. So this is by the way is not the only thing. I'm not claiming that this is the sole thing that made India fat and all the people in here fat, but I at least think that this is one of the major reasons because of which people in here got fatter and fatter. There are many reasons to this. Obvious are lack of physical activity, sedentary behavior, the ability to order thousands of calories with one click of a button, and all that kind of stuff. And all those are primary causes that Obviously all of you know, I don't need to tell you that, but this is a next level reasoning that most of the people don't out there don't really know. And if you just fix that, if you try to control this, guaranteed you will experience significant amount of results and significant amount of improvement in your appetite, hunger, and your weight problems. So that is it for this video. If you like this video, please click the like button, subscribe to this channel to stay updated with all the sciencey things that we talk in this channel. If you're new to this channel, by the way, let me tell you what this channel is all about. This channel is all about how the science behind how weight loss works, the science behind how muscle building works, how to really practical advice on how to have a long, healthy life. If you're fascinated and interested in all of these things, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.